What's up, guys? Your boy, 22K13. Gonna talk about 6 reasons Sting should not win WWE title. And this comes from WhatCulture.com. The big reveal last Monday night for Seth Rollins was not a tattoo, but the legend Sting. For one of the amazing ceremony involving Rollins of an actual tattoo, Triple H instantly booked him in a title match against Seth Rollins. The theme here is that Triple H didn't finish off Sting, so now it's up to Seth Rollins to finish the job. The storyline makes sense. Sting had a history with Triple H, thanks to their WrestleMania 31 match, and continued to be a thorn in his side by going after his protege, Seth Rollins. The matchup itself is fresh and should help draw more eyes toward the WWE network with a rare Sting appearance. This is all great stuff, but there is no way Sting should end up actually winning the WWE World Heavyweight title, no matter how long his run ends up being. His age is probably the most obvious reason why a title run would be silly. At 56 years old, is this really who WWE wants as their champion? He would likely take on a part-time schedule much like Brock Lesnar did with the title for much of the past year. Is that something fans really want again? Let's take a look at those and a few other reasons why Sting shouldn't win at Night of Champions. Number 6. His age. If Sting won the title, he would become the oldest wrestler, 56, to ever hold this title. He would beat out Vince McMahon, who won the title at the age of 54 back in 1999. Mr. McMahon won it from Triple H and lost it back to the same man in six days later. Amazingly, if you look at every world title winner ever, Sting will become second only to Mr. McMahon, who held the ECW title at 61 years old. Sting is in great shape for his age, but unfortunately his in-ring ability has dropped significantly over the years, which will put a lot on his opponent to carry each match, and believably is going to be a factor in all of this. Should a 56-year-old man really be the champion when there's an entire roster of capable title holders? That might be something many fans have a hard time accepting. Number 5. He a part-timer. Fans tend to be split on the topic of part-time wrestler, especially those put in the main event scene. On the plus side, they bring in fresh matchup and draw new eyes, typically casual or old fans that have lost interest in the product. On the other side, they tend not to show up at every show, and it's a foregone conclusion that the will disappear once their big match is over. Brock Lesnar was WWE champion for 224 days and made just a few sporadic appearances in that time, usually when a pay-per-view was around the corner. His presence made up for the lack of appearance, but I'm not sure if Sting can pull that off. When Brock did show up, he would Hulk smash anything in his way. Can Sting realistically do that now? Plus, his promo ability had always lacked, and at this point is a pretty outdated style. Without a Paul Heyman to keep people hyped up, his reign could become lackluster in a hurry. Fans can only see him show up and point a bat so many times. Number 4. Hurt the locker room. If WWE had a shallow roster and the product needed a boost, maybe this idea would work. At this point, their roster is the deepest it's been in years. Looking over the roster, there are easily 5 guys that are deserving of a title run. Not that every wrestler is worthy of being champion, but when they full-time worker and Sting get to just roll in to become champ, that could bring morale down a bit. If I could channel the ghost of CM Punk for a moment, this was his main complaint, that a guy like The Rock or Batista could just hop back in the company and take away the biggest spot from others who work hard all year for that chance. You could say, well, that's just life, but in wrestling, where everything is predetermined, then that's just Vince. Number 3. He's a WCW guy. From a fan perspective, this doesn't really matter. There have been plenty of wrestlers who worked for WCW that had a solid career with the WWE. Not to mention it is cool seeing Sting finally in the WWE. Aside from AJ Styles, he's one of the biggest names to never previously work for WWE. Unfortunately for Sting, Being a major player in WCW matters a great deal to someone like Vince McMahon. He always tried to downplay anyone who came from there, and this it would be very surprising to see him give Sting the title. Just look at how the Stinger was treated in his feud against Triple H. They eventually spun that whole silly feud into basically a WWE versus WCW battle. Once that came to light, you knew there was just no way Sting was going to win that match at WrestleMania 31. And with a lot of outside interference, he didn't. Number 2. WrestleMania 31 performance. Speaking of WrestleMania 31, his match against Triple H was an overbooked mess, but it was done for a reason. Slotted as just the third match on the card, Sting and Triple H couldn't put on much of a show without some help. By the time the match was over, Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, X-Pac, Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash were at ringside. That's a whole lot of degeneration and NWO nostalgia to get these two over. Oh yeah, weapon was needed as well. Triple H sledgehammer and Sting back went to war. All of these theories can be used every time Sting has a match, which is going to make for some very ugly matches in the future. He can barely squat down to do his finisher, the Scorpion Deathlock, so if he does show up a lot, expect plenty of shenanigans to follow. And number 1, transition the WWE title to Sheamus. So the previous reason are focused more on Sting having a somewhat lengthy title reign. There is also the possibility that when Sting gets the big win, Sheamus instantly showed up to cash in his opportunity and end up winning the title. First, do fans really want Sheamus as champion? It doesn't seem like it. Even though he turned heel, there's not much buzz around him aside from "you know stupid" chant. Since he's a heel, the likelihood of a legit match with Rollins is slim, but why couldn't he just take it from the champ when he beat him down? Second, it makes things just look dumb, as he literally become a transition champ simply to get the title on Sheamus. Not only did he lose the WCW vs WWE battle, but now he's just a patsy to get the title off Rollins and on Sheamus. This happened to Daniel Bryan, but by the time his story was finished, he was raising the title above his head at WrestleMania. That ending seemed very unlikely for Sting. To sum things up, I like Sting. I'm glad he's in the WWE, but he shouldn't be WWE champion, whether it's for 1 minute or a few months. I know there are plenty of Sting fans out there, so I look forward to your thoughts in the comment section. Well, that's it, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys on the next one. Peace.